Would naming it the Wii 2 make the whole difference?
Yeah, I think the Wii 2 would have been better, or yeah, it would have been much better. I think that easily 90% better. Yeah.
I guess only us real gamers knew the difference.
Hey guys, I'm the Philosopher, and welcome to the Console Xplosion Podcast, where we talk about all the nerdy things going on right now. Today we talked about the Nintendo NX, Legend of Zelda, and their new Star Fox Zero. Now we have a few people at the TCX who have played Star Fox and are not very happy with it, so you get to hear their opinions on why they think this game is not that good. We also talked about the new Legend of Zelda game that was supposed to come out on the Wii U being pushed back so it could potentially be released on the NX as well. So we have all that and more in this episode of the Console Xplosion Podcast. As always, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Console Xplosion. We are doing it live again tonight. Our first topic is, of course, the very, very shitty controls of Star Fox. Star Fox Zero, I believe it's called, for the Wii U.
Yeah.
And I have not played it, but we have at least one person who's played it and has some strong opinions on it. I know Tyler has something to say about it, so whichever one of you guys want to go at it, just go ahead and let me know what you think about this game's controls. I want to know why you hate it so much.
Here's the thing. The game had one job, and they fucked it up. Right. The controls are not what you needed to fix in this game. The controls were fine. The gameplay was fine. The on-rails, semi-on-rails type of gameplay was already fine. The only thing you needed to do is add a little variety to it, have more stuff add to it. And the fact, if you played the game, both the Star Fox 64 and this one, the story is pretty much the same. That's where you needed to have new stuff. You know? That's where you needed to have new stuff added to the fucking game. Have a new story to show us to go forward. Not fucking do the same thing there, but then go ahead and change the controls that was not broken. That's just, I don't know, Nintendo just fuck me in the anus with that game.
But wait, Antonio, you can always turn off the motion controls
off. No, not completely, no. That's not true.
Only when you're in third-person view of the, what do you call the spaceships?
I don't know. Yeah, the fucking, it's ridiculous. Now, here's the thing, when you have, there's points where you can't turn it off, and you have to point with your fucking tablet thing, right? You have to point with this, but then you have to be like this, and then look at the fucking TV, and then like this, and look at the TV. It's just.
Yeah, I did have that issue.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's so fucking contrived. Everything here is contrived. You don't see nothing here. I don't know.
I was actually controlling.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
I was actually controlling that little hover plane, and I was like, okay, I dropped my little creature, and I'm like, okay, I can't see, what am I supposed to do? I can't see what's going on in there, and I looked down my tab, I was like, oh, look at this!
Yeah, the game looks beautiful. Why the fuck? I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. The controls are not intuitive at all. I see, like, a lot of reviewers are saying, well, you just give it a little time, and then you will eventually get used to it. No, fuck that. Why not get used to it and just have it correct the first time?
Well,
no, it's just, I don't know, man.
Do you think they're going to patch it?
They could patch it if they wanted to, but I don't know if they're gonna. They have not said anything about it.
It would be great though, because I don't really mind too much about me looking down at this screen, looking at that screen. My main problem is just the motion. Look, I like the fact I can turn it off. I'm in the R-wing, but when you get to the walker and what do you call that, hover airplane thing,
yeah,
you still gotta use the motion controls to shoot and aim.
Yeah,
which sucks.
Again, if you could use it and have the choice to either use it or not, or when it makes sense. For instance, one game I think made it better with motion controls was Resident Evil 4 for the Wii. I found that the pointing with the Wii remote was much better than with the fucking control. It's just I found that game to be better for motion controls. This game is definitely not better with motion controls. It drags it down to a point, and again, Nintendo worked backwards with this. Again, they fixed something that was not broken, and what they needed to do new, which was the story, was the fucking same. No, man, it's just I don't know. It's just I was so disappointed by that game. It's just my heart is broken, you know.
So you're saying on a scale of 1 to 10, you'd give the new Star Fox, a 0?
No.
Well,
So when Star Wolf and Star Fox get in a dogfight,
we
is
haven't
it called a dogfight?
I haven't got to that part yet.
The dog-eat-dog world.
The dogfight. Yep, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking
Does
dog
it get
fight.
pretty rough around there?
God
Or am I
damn.
just barking up the wrong tree? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So why do you think they keep... God damn it, Jared. Why do you think they keep forcing these controls on us? It doesn't seem necessary, but like, why do you think they keep doing that to us?
Because, here's the thing. So we didn't have the Star Fox on the Wii because of that. They thought they didn't have a good game to show us on the Wii. That's why they kept pushing it back and back and back until they fucking gave us this shit. I mean, the game is not shit. It has its moments. Of course, it's Star Fox, but I do not agree with the assessment that a lot of reviewers are saying. Keep in mind, most of the reviews that are out were out this week or even last week, I believe some of them, all of them were given a game in advance by Nintendo. So I would not trust those reviews to be 100% true or not biased. Yes. I think a lot of what they're saying is very biased and saying, well, because they're trying. You can hear in the reviews that they're trying to excuse Nintendo for what they did and give it excuses to say, well, you eventually get used to it. And honestly, why give it that excuse? Why, if you were not biased? I mean, why give it that excuse that you eventually get used to it? It's just. You eventually get used to it, but that means half of the game you did not enjoy because of that, because you were trying to get used to it. So fuck that. Why not enjoy the game from 0 to 100% instead of start enjoying it at 70%? It's not the way to go. I mean, these fucking reviewers are biased, and fuck them in the anus for it.
Yeah, we've talked about these situations before. I mean, we've brought these up in many other podcasts. The fact that developers are taking the easy way out, releasing not complete games, just releasing fucking multiplayer-only games, Street Fighter V, and we're paying for it, and we're fucking being the ones who are taking up the ass on this. And we as gamers are not stepping up and saying, no, stop.
Yeah.
Right? I think we need to let our voices be heard and stop buying Street Fighter and stop buying that garbage game because it's not going to get any better.
I've got to disagree. Well, I've got to disagree. Oh my God, Jared. Oh, so
can you point out behind you so that people can see why you're disagreeing? There you go.
So I will openly admit I'm a Street Fighter fan, and we've had a huge debate me and Antonio have. If you haven't seen that, I'll try to post a link to that. I found it very entertaining. But I don't want to get too much in this game, but that game, they're gonna add on more stuff. They're adding more content to that. Now, Star Fox, I don't know if they're gonna add more content to it. Not my favorite place to go to for reviews, but it's very well known. IGN gave it a 7.5, and the two things that were cons for it were awkward controls and the gyro wing stages, which I'm guessing is what you're talking about with the nonsense or whatever. Yes. And it, to me, that's frustrating because you're trying to build your game around this feature or this gimmick, and we had a podcast about this too, about gimmick games, and I feel like Star Fox didn't need a gimmick to be successful. It just needed to be in existence. It just needed to be Star Fox 64 or Star Fox for the Super Nintendo with new storyline. There was nothing wrong with the format of the game, I felt. It might have been... It wasn't even linear because you could go different routes in Star Fox 64. It was a very fantastic game. Maybe add some foot levels or whatever, fine, but...
You can do the same thing here. You go different levels, but here's the thing. You're fucking doing the same levels again than you did in the Star Fox 64. It's just...
Really?
Yeah, they're the same levels. Yeah, I mean, there's new stuff here, but a lot of the stuff is repeated. It's just like even the same, things that happen on the Star Fox 64 happen in this game exactly the same. It's just, when I was doing this, like, I was a little frustrated with that as well because, again, the story can have a big mythos, right? A big... there's a lot of stuff going on in the background with your father and with Andros and there's a lot of stuff you can work on. I mean, there's new stuff in this game. Don't get me wrong, and there's something that which seems to hint to see if you might not know who the bad guy is, honestly. But why go back? I can understand that you want to string the nostalgia a little bit. But there's like something that happened with, for instance, Star Wars, right? Where people were pissed off that they were seeing A New Hope again, right? Pretty much with new stuff added to it. This is something like that for this, where it's a lot of things are repeated, and I don't know. I don't think it needed to be.
Do you feel that is a situation where they're kind of just rehashing old stuff and playing on the younger generation?
Not really, because this game it's trying to accommodate for us, people who love that game, and that's okay. Again, I like that idea that they're trying to accommodate to us. The problem is, in the process, they changed what it was good about the game and did not enough of the new stuff that should be added to it, and it's just, so it's trying to pander to no one. And to everyone at the same time. I don't know.
Exactly. Fuck you, Street Fighter V. Fuck you.
Yeah.
It seems like something Nintendo tries to do a lot. They try really hard to fit everybody, which, in marketing standpoint, it kind of goes against everything marketing, which is you have a target audience, and it seems like Nintendo is pretty much everybody, the everyman's game or whatever, or the family man's game. I don't know. That's my Street Fighter talking. Only Street Fighter fans will get that joke. Not Jared.
Yeah. So the 3 people who play Street Fighter V will get that joke. Hopefully they're watching.
God, your face, Jared, your face. But to stay on the topic of Nintendo disappointing people, there was also the news that Legend of Zelda got pushed back to match the newly announced release date of the Nintendo NX, which is going to be March of 2017, I believe. That was fairly recent, and a lot of people seem to be pretty pissed off about that. Not so much that it's going to be on the NX, but just that it got pushed back.
I mean, who didn't see that coming, honestly?
Exactly.
Who didn't see that coming? It was telltaling that for a long time now. It was going to be released like this, the same way
Twilight Princess.
Exactly, with Twilight Princess with the Wii. Oh. Which I don't think Nintendo needs to go back and learn from their successful consoles. Not the Wii, because the Wii was a weird thing that happened. Everything lined together in a way that was very successful. But I don't think that's going to happen twice. They need to go back and see, well, why did the NES was as successful as it was? Today, I don't get why, but these days, you buy a console, and you get only one controller and no fucking games with it, right? And now Nintendo does give you games, but nowadays are shitty games. What happened with your Marios, right? what happened with that? I mean, the Wii didn't have that. I don't know. I think the Wii U should have waited for, or I'm hoping that we're gonna get a new Mario for the Wii U with the Zelda. That would, if you have a new Zelda and a new Mario with it, it will be a successful console. If you start with it.
But the Wii had Wii Sports.
Yeah.
And then later on had Wii Sports and Wii Play. Both are fantastic games.
They you know what? They are fantastic games, but they are not the games for our crowd. Honestly.
Well, no,
I mean,
because our crowd will pay money for fucking the same copy of Street Fighter 4 over and over again because that's what we do.
Yes, we do that.
That's exactly what we do, Jared.
Yeah, but having the Zelda on the Wii U, I have no problems with it. I mean, have it to wait until the NX. I myself don't have a problem with it.
If the NX is as powerful as they say it's going to be, and it's going to be as good as it's going to be, a Zelda on that is going to look amazing compared to the Wii U version, hands down. I think the GameCube and Wii version of Twilight Princess pretty much looked the same to me.
It actually looked a little better in the GameCube than in the Wii.
Yeah.
Because it was developed on the GameCube originally. So we'll see what happens with this one. But I don't know. I don't have a problem with it releasing on the NX.
A quick question here about Star Fox. Sorry, backtracking.
Yeah.
Do they have any game modes where you use the pad and you can drop bombs on people with that, like you would in an F-15 or an
like
A-10?
Hiroshima mode?
Well, no, but on an A-10, what you have is on you have your main display.
No.
And you have a side screen, and then you can drop your glide bomb, and you can guide it into the target on your screen. So it'd be sweet to fly your freaking R-wing while dropping a bomb on a ground target. That would just be sick. But
well, in that
opportunities lost.
In that case, something like that would make sense to then look back at your controller. But no, we don't have stuff like that. No.
Well, I'm thinking it's freaking you have multiple screens. There's so much stuff you could do with just avionic concepts alone. Just the things they could have incorporated by just looking at military aircraft and incorporating that into Star Fox would have been just fantastic. The stuff they could have done, but it seems like everything they've done is a missed opportunity here.
Well, you gotta remember that this game, it's a twitchy kind of game, right? It's more about your reflex trying to get through this on rails level, try to be aware of everything you're seeing because it's the same way as Star Fox 64. You need to be able to kill as many enemies as possible to be able to unlock more stuff, right?
But even Star Fox 64, at least when it came out, it put new game modes in that were kind of a break from the standard on rails. There were some levels in Star Fox. So, I mean, they could have definitely probably taken and done some new missions with the new Star Fox and maybe tried to do more with the genre. But it seems like they just pushed out and wanted to use their shitty controller.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I mean, if there were, as you said, small breaks into it and then changed your gameplay mode completely so that then you need to look at that on your controller and not pay the same attention to your main monitor as this game tries to require you to do, then yes, I think that would be sweet in a sense that you're having more variety to your gameplay and it breaks from what you were doing before. But this is not the case on this game.
Or like a ground support mission where you have the tank on the ground and you have to take out bunkers ahead of it or something. Something interesting like that.
I like those stages.
Yeah, like Call of Duty. Remember Call of Duty Modern Warfare?
The freaking AC-130 fucking gunship sitting up there just lobbing shells down at targets. You could have done that with Star Fox, and it would have been amazing.
Yeah, if you have so
much opportunities here.
Is there any co-op in the game? Because it seems like that's a missed opportunity too. If one person could drop the bombs or shoot something while the other guy steers. Double dash, come on.
Wait, are you sure? I thought it was a multiplayer game.
Well, I think there's multiplayer, but I don't think it's co-op. I think it's people versus people.
I actually have my copy right here.
What does it say on the back there?
It says...
Stupid Nintendo making you have to have friends.
It doesn't say. I have to look at the actual case. That's the box.
Look at the case, not the box.
But it just seems like a lot of missed opportunities there for what they could have done with Star Fox.
I agree.
They're like, people like the IP. We're gonna sell copies no matter what shit we put out.
I think there might be a multiplayer mode here. It says team up to take out enemies here.
Yeah, 1 player or 2 player.
Okay, I haven't tried that at all.
Ooh. Okay. Again, it looks like the other guy can use the controller. So I only see this picture is very misleading, but there's 2 people with controllers in one screen. So I don't know if one person can aim and shoot and the other person does something else or what the hell. But there's co-op, so that is a redeeming quality for me. That makes me want to get it again.
Oh my god, they could have done like, if you have multiple freaking Wii controllers, done like a B-17 mode where people have different gunnery positions.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
Right, exactly.
Well,
that would be a cool
player
use of the Wii U pad.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like, if you could link like 4 Wii U pads to a single Wii and like you're doing a mission where like everyone has a gunnery position on an aircraft and like a bombardier and crap and a pilot? Oh, that would rule.
Or Pacific Rim. You can control those robots.
You gotta be like mind melded to make that work though.
Yeah, yeah, you can get into my thoughts anytime you want.
Oh yeah.
Can I watch?
That would be so weird. Like you would speak in Spanish, and I'd be like, I don't speak Spanish.
Well, but you would, right? If we were to think like that, wouldn't you speak Spanish?
Oh shit, I would learn Spanish too. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, I think you would, wouldn't you? Is that how it works?
Sure.
Oh, I'd put it down.
Japanese girls. Stuff.
I guess you did freaking mind meld with a Japanese girl, and that worked out okay. Yeah, all right, we're good to go.
All right, I like it.
Like that.
To kind of jump back to the other topic, I hear a lot of ranting all the time whenever a game gets pushed back, just in general. And I just don't understand the logic behind it. I think people aren't asking why it got pushed back. And on top of that, it's going to be on the NX as well, so that's kind of a good thing. But there's usually a reason for the game getting pushed back. It isn't just, I don't want the game to come out right now because I don't like the monies. I'm going to go ahead and just push it back. It doesn't work that way. So I feel like a lot of people aren't. I've heard some ranting already from people I know, and it's understandable, but at the same time, it's just like you're gonna be all right. It's gonna be a better game because it got pushed back more. Hopefully that's the thought. I haven't heard too much bad from Legend of Zelda, so let's hope that's the case.
But I think honestly, what it is it's Nintendo has the luxury of looking at the current generation of how gaming is going for them, and like their Wii U console is getting its ass kicked as far as terms of sales and its overall performance, and the fact that no developers want to develop for it because it's a smaller platform. It's more difficult to make games for based on the controller and the concept.
Yeah.
So I think they pretty much are looking at what they're going to do, and they need a strong title to help launch the NX, so they're probably just going to push it back as far as they can so they can release it, I would say, simultaneously with the NX release of it. So that way they can just forget about the Wii U and just move forward with the NX.
Yeah, maybe even do a holiday bundle with Legend of Zelda.
Maybe, yeah, make it more appealing, or even that, just release the console and then have people buy the game separately.
Yeah, either or, just something to have like day one, good console games.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be almost exactly 5 years when the NX comes out, because it came out. The Wii U came out in 2012. And so it's going to be a good 5 years. So it had a 5-year run, which it seems like such a short time to me.
Well,
current generation, of the fact that it was made with substandard hardware, yeah, they kind of shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, November 18th, 2012. So it'll be a little over 5 years when it comes out.
In the case of Nintendo, I don't care that much about the hardware being as powerful because of the type of games that they push out. The problem with the Nintendo is that there's no fucking third-party support. So honestly, it only makes sense to people that are fans of their games to get their console. And if you like me, I mean, I only have Nintendo games for my Wii. Well, some other third parties here and there, but mostly Nintendo games only because that's what it works for. So I don't care. I honestly don't care that the NX is not as powerful as some people might think it is, which I don't think it would be. I think it's probably going to be on par with the PS4, if not even a little less, probably close to the Xbox One. I don't think it's going to be if it's going to be more powerful than the PS4, I don't think it's going to be that much more powerful than the PS4 at all. Yeah. So, do I care? No, I just care about the games. So
yeah, it's like you said. It doesn't have to be very powerful to play the games that they play. The issue comes from like the Wii. You know, you have companies like Activision trying to make Call of Duty on there, and it's the games that they make aren't really marketable on these consoles, so they're not even going to try.
Well, the Wii was, again, it's an exception console because first of all, it was not that powerful, more powerful than even its older GameCube console. It was almost on par with it, which is crazy. And they did that because they wanted to, you pay mostly for the R&D of the controllers rather than the hardware itself, right? So that's why they went in and had that inferior hardware. The problem was that it was extremely, extremely inferior compared to the PS3 and Xbox 360, to a point that it was just ridiculous. Again, it was, when it came out, it was this pretty much the same hardware as the original Xbox. So when it came out, it was already super, super old as it was. So that's why third parties was like, well, I mean, we can't port our games to this thing. We just can't.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens with the NX.
But hey, we can port a bunch of our PS2 games to it.
Oh yeah.
So that was generationally worked out well because I mean a lot of the PS2 ports worked out. But yeah, also I think the Wii hit at the right time for being different than other controllers and being moderately okay at motion controls. It wasn't like they were amazing and most of the time they were irritating, but no one else was offering it at the time. So I think that dominated a section of the market that no one knew existed, and I think Nintendo was kind of banking on that again with the Wii U. And I think one of my theories about one of the biggest mistakes that they did with the Wii U was not naming it something new. Instead, by calling it the Wii U, it almost sounds like a freaking add-on of the Wii, which I think was detrimental to their console.
Yeah, and to add on to that really quick, that was an actual issue. When I worked at GameStop when it came out, and a lot of people were very confused as to what the Wii U really was. People thought it was just a tablet. They didn't think it was a whole console because their marketing wasn't very good on explaining it, and because of their name, it made it seem like it was just an expansion or something like that.
Yeah, I even thought that. And I pay attention to these kinds of things. I was like, what the fuck is the Wii U?
Would naming it the Wii 2 make the whole difference?
Yeah, I think the Wii 2 would have been better, or yeah, it would have been much better. I think that easily 90% better.
Yeah. I guess only us real gamers knew the difference.
Other than Splatoon, what was the last new one that you? Because even then, like, I can't. Anyone outside of you people, I can't think of anyone who's actually played Splatoon.
What do you mean, you people?
Yeah, what do you mean?
Exactly what I mean, you fucking people. Fucking nerds.
I play Splatoon. I have Splatoon tablet.
I can't really think of too many.
Yeah, but I can't think of too many people that they're like, oh my god, do you see that Splatoon character? He's so memorable, and I remember all their names. No, it's like they only have Mario and freaking Link and Zelda and Donkey Kong, and that's like pretty much all they have as far as the IPs they've introduced.
Metroid.
Okay, Metroid Samus is one, but
Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much they had a whole video game of this called Super Smash Brothers. That's all their IPs on there.
I heard about that game.
That's all they have.
You might want to check it out.
Literally all they have.
Pokemon. You might want to check it out.
Then again, these are IPs that they developed over a decade ago.
Since the Game Boy, yeah, or older.
These are IPs that are over a decade old. The only new and innovative idea they've had is Splatoon, and even then, I don't even give a shit about that.
What about the Wii U trainer?
The Wii U trainer, like that little board you buy and work out on.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles. It's a whole different idea of a game. It's
Fire
still the
that
same.
that wasn't a Nintendo exclusive developed game though.
Yes, it was.
Xenoblade, was it? I thought it was a different.
Xenoblade Chronicles.
What was Xenoblade? You're thinking of Xenosaga, which was on the PS2.
Yeah.
Xenosaga 2.
And Xenogears on the PlayStation.
Xenogears, yep.
Yeah.
But
Blade Chronicles.
But what I mean is like a new IP that actually captivates and draws people in.
I think, Ian, you are xenophobic.
Bladic. Yeah.
No, I think maybe Fire Emblem's the only one, and that's kind of big over in Japan more so than here. But to answer your question, there really aren't many.
Because I'm just thinking from somebody who's on the outside and who really hasn't given a crap about Nintendo since the 64. That's just all I'm thinking about.
I didn't give a crap about Nintendo since Super Nintendo. This would be the first Wii U or first system I actually cared about.
See, but there's kind of some games. There's kind of some games that you're missing out on, right? Like, if we really go into it, you really dive into it. The IPs that Nintendo came out with recently, or not even recently, but overall, would be Advance Wars, Golden Sun, Custom Robo games, Wave Racer games, The Puzzle League, Endless Ocean, Devil World, Steel Drivers, Pilot Wings, Mech Riders, the 1080 series, Game & Watch, Ice Climbers, F-Zero, Fire Emblem, Yoshi, Donkey Kong, Star Fox, Punch-Out, Elite Beat Agents, that's a newer one, Rhythm Heaven, newer one, Magical Star Sign, what else is there? The Last Story. The Last Story, that's a new one.
So it's like 3.
Drill Dozer,
in this decade.
Starfly, Animal Crossing, Sin and Punishment, Kid Icarus, Mother, WarioWare, Nintendogs.
They need to make a new Mother.
How many of those are from this decade?
Pandora's Tower, that's from this decade.
Okay, so 4. Okay. Oh, it's Splatoon. Yeah, okay, so 5.
Splatoon.
Okay. Kirby, that's all I'm saying is Nintendo, they're banking on their pre-existing IPs, and it seems like they need to come up with some newer ideas if they want to attract more people, or double down on the ones they already have. Like new Mario, new Zelda, well, they're definitely making new Smash Brothers, because that just sells like crack to people, especially the Amiibos, or Amiibos.
I honestly feel like Nintendo is kind of painting themselves into a corner, slowly but surely, because they're making these games, and I respect the fact that they're so adamant on making games that, the family-friendly games, but it just seems like there aren't enough. There are some really good games, and I don't want to belittle the games that are out there, but it just seems like there's something about the Nintendo that just isn't taken. The later consoles aren't taken as seriously as PS4 or the Xbox One or even PC games. They're not actual games. They're not, I wouldn't say gimmicks, but they're just, to me, I don't know if it's because I've outgrown them or what the hell it is, but Super Smash Brothers and like Pokken are the only few games that I'll play on the Wii. Anything that's co-op, also I'll play. But there's tons of other better options on the other consoles that I'd rather play. And
sorry, I just wanted to add into something that Ian said. You said that Nintendo is, sticking to their prime, their money makers, right? But you can say that almost about any developer. I mean, look at Capcom. When's the last new IP they've come out with, besides sticking with the same Mega Man, Street Fighter?
Mega Man, you said?
What is it?
Are they sneaking with Mega Man?
But those are companies that aren't life or death tied to the consoles they're producing. They have the luxury. They can ride that into the grave, and they have no problems because their overhead cost is drastically lower than a company mass producing a console system.
Also true.
But you have a good point there, as far as a lot of people will ride their IPs to death. But I just think Nintendo needs to do something different than what they're doing if they want to change what almost feels like a downward slide.
Mm-hmm. I think it's very simple. They don't have to do something different. The only thing they need to do is embrace third-party gaming. That's the secret right there. If they are able to bring back third parties, they win again. That's the only thing they need to do.
How about some mature-rated games too?
Well, the third parties will come with it. The third parties will come with those games.
Are you sure they won't censor it?
No, they won't. Mad World? What did you see? Mad World?
I can't play because I gotta use those motion controls.
Anyhow, they're not doing that since the Super Nintendo. So.
I thought you were going to say you can't play because your mom didn't let you or something.
No, I actually have the game, but you gotta use the Wii controllers, which
they haven't censored stuff like that since the Super Nintendo, and even then, they learned from it with Mortal Kombat. First, Mortal Kombat did not have all this sweat, but what about Mortal Kombat 2? It bring back the blood. So even after that, it's just that argument is not valid anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think Nintendo is kind of... I agree 100% with Ian on the fact that, yes, Nintendo keeps going back to the well so many times. They keep going back to the well for the same things over and over again, and it's getting stale. It's the same as any TV show. It's the same as any... I can use wrestling. You use the same stars over and over again. You put the heavyweight title on them over and over again. It gets stale. People get bored, and they don't watch the product anymore. They're not going to buy the product anymore when they keep going to the well for the same games, same things, over and over again, and especially screw it up by doing improper controls or improper mechanics, right? And with Nintendo, with every fucking 3 years coming out with a new system, I mean, fuck, they come with a new system more than I change my socks.
Mm-hmm.
So, it just... Really, it's going to hurt them. I agree with Ian on that. But it is what it is. I mean, you look at it as this is their moneymaker. They're going to, until they get someone in there with a new look at things or a new bright idea, they're not going to change. That's like the whole idea of DLC, the whole idea of patching games or releasing half-done games and then having multiplayer-only versions on it, and then you get the stories later on through DLC, or you can get money within the game to be able to get the full version of the game later on when it's released a year from now,
But don't you think that the answer for that is very simple? You just embrace the third parties?
It depends on the third party. It depends on... Because look at what happened with the Wii. A lot of third parties were burned. They were told, yeah, we can...
Exactly.
We have the technology.
That's what I'm saying. Don't burn them. Work with the third parties. Bring them back. Be strong with them. And then you have your money makers, your Nintendo ones. I mean, it's the same way as Sony is doing. Sony has their money makers already. And they're embracing the third parties, and that's why they're kicking the ass of everyone.
But the problem is the third parties are already burned. The third parties already lost money. A lot of those third parties are gone. Ubisoft was one of those big third parties for the Wii U, and where are they now?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Fix that. If you fix that, you fix the problem. You can fix that. I mean, just because. I mean, remember, these are companies. The only motivation is make money. At the end of the day, that's the only motivation. If you show them that they can make money with you again, they will come back. Do you think they have grudges with Nintendo because of what happened? No, they can't give two shits about that. If they can make money, they will do it.
Yeah, we spent millions of dollars to develop this game for your new console. Your console flopped. Our game flopped. We went bankrupt and went out of business. No, don't worry. No grudge. Hey, we're cool.
No, if they can make money now, they will. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think so. I honestly think...
Yeah, then you don't know how these corporations work, my man.
You don't know how they work.
Well, it's very simple. See Call of Duty, right? It was making so much money with the Xbox. Now that Sony is making better stuff for them, they've moved for them as well now. Just because it works well with the Xbox originally, did they continue to be, faithful to them? Fuck no. They just want to make more money.
Well, it had nothing to do with working well. It was Xbox always had the first say in the contract for Call of Duty. They paid for the money that Call of Duty wanted. That was it. It had nothing to do with system to system. It was who just put out the most money for that.
Exactly. That's exactly my point. That's exactly my point. Where they can make more money, they will go. If Nintendo can make it so that they can make more money with them, they will come back. They will not hold grudges like, hey, we fucked it up last time. They don't care about that. They don't care about...
How many Call of Duty games came out for the Wii and the Wii U and the Wii? One. Why? Because they got fucked over by it and they haven't gone back since.
Well, look, here's the thing, though.
Yeah, but they can fix that. They can fix that with the NX if they wanted to.
Who made the game? Was it Nintendo or was it Activision?
Activision.
Yeah, so Activision also did some fucking up. It wasn't just Nintendo's console. It was the fact that they couldn't make a game that catered to people on their console. The game was buggy. It had issues. It wasn't just because the console was bad. They could have opted out to not use the weird peripheral. They could have done something different with the controls, but they chose to try to go with the gimmick of what Nintendo was. Now, what was said behind the scenes, I don't know. But it wasn't just Nintendo; it was the developer as well. And there's money being thrown around. You're not just making a game, and putting it on there. There's deals being made. There's talks being had, and behind the scenes, we don't know what capabilities the NX really has. The developers get first look at everything, so it's not like they're just hopping into another random pitfall. They've learned from the last time. Yeah, they may have been burnt, but now they might know a little bit better. They might be more prepared. They might have a better console overall that'll accommodate for an idea for their game.
Yeah, PlayStation.
I mean, I have a PS4. That's the only console I have. That's one I prefer. But from a neutral point of view, I think that's the only thing that's going to help them, and that's what they need to do. It is possible. I don't think they're going to be able to survive on just their first-party games anymore.
I agree. They need to fix their third-party support for this console, and I think that if they do that, they can be again the most successful console, because by far they still have the better first-party games still than any of the other consoles. You can argue like Uncharted for Sony, yeah, but at the end of the day, The Last of Us, yeah. At the end of the day, Nintendo has more first-party games that are, that attract more people.
Oh, yeah. Is this our next fight? Are we gonna go into this?
We can go into that.
Oh, you ring that fucking bell. It's on. Put your dukes up.
We can do it. Let's do it.
What is this?
Which consoles have the better first-party exclusives?
Oh, I want to hear
no Xbox or PC.
PlayStation. PS4.
Is it StarCraft or StarCraft?
PC.
I go PC then. Fuck Nintendo.
Are you sure? I thought StarCraft was on the home console also.
No, it's only on PC, bro.
Are you sure?
I'm 100% sure.
Well, StarCraft came out for the N64 forever ago.
There you go.
StarCraft Ghost? Oh, it's a great game.
Well, no, StarCraft Ghost never came out.
I know.
Yeah. I thought you were being serious. I'm like, wait, you play something that never came out that was canceled?
Oh, you guys didn't know about the game? Whoops, I said too much.
You can download it.
No, that game will never come out, ever.
At the end of the day, Nintendo's first party are way more recognizable than any of the other first party games at all, by bar none. So I think, again, if they are able to secure third parties, they are in a sweet spot to be dominating for their console. If they do that. If they don't, then they're going to continue with the Wii U thing. Just continue that and be shit like they are now.
Yeah. Now, I haven't seen anything, which is kind of odd. It's kind of backwards now that I think about it, because you have Microsoft and you have Sony both working on some sort of VR system. Have you guys seen anything from Nintendo about VR? Besides the Virtual Boy?
No, they got burned once with that. You think they're going to go back to VR?
Oh, God.
Nintendo's like, we already did it.
Everything's
go back.
graphics.
Like, fuck that.
But anyway, speaking of StarCraft, yes, there was a StarCraft on Nintendo 64. You can get it on eBay.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah, there was.
And it sucks, of course.
I was just messing around about the ghost part, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In any case, do you guys, now that you're bringing the VR, do you guys believe VR could be the same route as the 3D was a couple of years ago? Where it was hype, and then it was just fading to obscurity?
Well, actually, with current VR sales numbers have actually been, I think, 40 to 30% lower than projections.
Ooh.
So that's not boding too well for what they anticipated. I think they were expecting something like think it was like 10 million unique new users or something along those lines, and they're not getting nearly that many. So it's going to be really competitive, and I think the biggest thing keeping people out of the VR market right now is the fact that the VR units are freaking expensive.
That's what it is.
Yeah. I think
I don't have a powerful enough computer to run it.
Yeah, you need a better computer, and then you got to drop $800 to $600 on a VR system for it, at least on the PC end. And the PlayStation 4 version might be more competitive, and that might actually kind of inspire the price drop a little bit. But I think it's going to be, it's just so far it's kind of price exclusive at the moment.
But here's the thing. Here's my question to you guys, right? My question is, I hear a lot of pundits just say, this is like the next gaming step, right? Everyone is going to have VR. This is the new stuff. This is what is going to bring gaming back to the map, or whatever that means. Just bring it better, whatever. And I honestly do not see that. I actually see VR as a gimmick, as 3D was some years ago. I mean, it's a great thing. I love it. Every time I've tried it, it's great. But is that truly like the next step for gaming? Do you guys think?
I wish it would be.
I think it's going to be a step for genres of gaming, I think. But as far, I think I don't particularly take VR that seriously, considering there are games out there for it, but there's nothing that truly takes complete advantage of the experience it offers. And I think it's going to be a while before someone can actually drop the amount of money and energy required to make it like the platform it needs to be to really attract aggressive people.
But do you think it will grow to a point where VR is going to be part of every single machine now on, because it's just like a controller now, right? This is the new thing, and this is what works now, and this is gonna be standard now.
Well, I think people, when it comes to I think when it comes to the way this is going to be, I think VR is going to be one part of the market. It's not going to become this all-inclusive thing. Because, quite frankly, some people still like leaning back in their chair and playing on a monitor and being able to grab things off their desk without knocking shit over while wearing VR goggles. So, I mean, it's going to be, you're going to have like two sides of a coin here. We're going to have that market where, not to mention, it's like a really good screen as well. So, I mean, you have the potential of people using it for that along with conventional monitors, things like that. But I think it's just going to be a part of the market. I don't think it's going to be something that takes it over and has to be an inclusionary part of it.
Mm-hmm. For me personally, I agree. I don't think it's going to happen. But I mean, I was born in 1984, and in 1982 they were talking about VR being the next big thing when Tron came out. When that movie came out, they talked about, VR, virtual reality, this is going to be it, this is the next big thing. That happened in the 80s. In the 90s, VR, virtual reality, it's going to be the next big thing. That was the 90s. 2000s, Jersey Shore, that's going to be the next big thing. And that happened. And then we go to the Wii U, where it's, motion controls, that's going to be the next big thing. And then we're going to go into VR, so don't worry, it's a step-by-step. Motion controls came, and they went. Everyone said, we dallied in it, we're done. And now we're coming full circle back to VR, where it's the next big thing. I don't think so. We've been hearing this since the 80s.
Yeah. And here's why I'm saying this, because to me, to be considered that next step in gaming, it's like when, for instance, Nintendo came out with the analog stick, right? Now, after that, every single console, every single controller comes with that analog stick, right? It's just now it's engraved in it. So that's what I'm talking about. Something that happens so that now it's engraved and it has to be added into it for every single console from now on, because just it became standard. So my question is, I hear a lot of pundits and people say that this is what that's gonna be, and I don't see how that's gonna be that. I mean, I don't get why they're saying this.
Well, the analog, when it came out, especially with the PlayStation, it was only, I think it all comes down to price, because it wasn't an expensive jump to go from your regular controller to the new analog controller that came out. It was $30 at the time. It was $39.99. Wasn't a huge jump. We're talking, like Ian said, $800, $900 for the system, and then another God who knows how much to have a computer that can run it, right? That's a huge step, and I just don't think it's going to happen.
Well, that it's that expensive just because of the hardware. At the end of the day, you could probably make it $30 eventually when it's only going to be a screen and everything's going to be processed in other parts of the console, and it'll just shoot you that information into your goggles. Mm-hmm. And it could be that it becomes that cheap as well eventually. But I still, even if it's $30 eventually, I don't see how that's going to be the next standard thing in gaming.
Yeah. See, here's my thing with that. I think the idea that people are saying that it's the next big thing in gaming is honestly a little bit small-minded, because I think it has plenty of uses outside of gaming. I don't think it should be mandatory for gaming. I think it can enhance certain gaming experiences, but just saying that it's for gaming is kind of small-minded, because movies alone, totally useful, totally cool. 360 movies, people are talking about that. 360 sports as well.
Now, 360 sports, I think it makes more sense than movies. Because movies, the problem with movies is that unless you make a whole new genre of movies, but if you want to make a movie, just tell a story, the problem with having a 360 camera is that people are not going to pay attention to what you want to show, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think it works for that unless there's a new genre of movies where...
I think movies as we know it now would be different, for sure.
Yeah, they will have to be very different. But for sports, now that is a different story. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Or wrestling.
Wrestling sucks balls, so...
I know, but some people like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, they're idiots. I don't know why.
Something I would say would be, like, yeah, VR is a nice thing and it's a good monitor, but ultimately, for some gaming experiences, it's not going to be the best. I mean, like, third-person stuff with VR goggles, I can't imagine that's going to be that much better than relaxing on your couch or playing on a big screen TV. So it's really just... It's going to be a percentage of the market. I doubt, because ultimately, in order to utilize it, you have to design a game around that particular concept and idea to make it around that first-person VR thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of games aren't going to be developed specifically for it. So ultimately, it'll never dominate gaming the way some people anticipate it will, which it's not.
I don't think it should dominate gaming. I don't think it should dominate gaming. I think it's going to do better on PC because... I feel console games are going to try to force this down our throats. I think either it needs to be its own separate entity, or own console, or it needs to be on PC, because PlayStation and other games have a bad history with peripherals. The PlayStation Go, even the Kinect kind of didn't really do too well, and they keep trying to force these things down our throats, but we keep saying we don't want it. Certain editions, like the analog stick, they were introduced to us in a certain way where we used it more because it was better. But if it's going to inhibit our ability to play a game rather than enhance it, we're not going to use it. Certain games like horror games and maybe other like MMOs might do well, first-person games, but if it's not going to enhance the quality of the game, we're not going to use it. We've seen it over and over and over again. Like Nintendo is the most obvious one. You have the Virtual Boy, you have the Power Glove, you have all these other things that they've done that don't do well. And they've done plenty of things right. The handhelds, they pioneered that, sort of. But it's not going to do as well, I think, with consoles as it is on either PC or having its own standalone console. That's my thoughts on that one.
No, I agree with that. But I think what Antonio brought up a good point. If it were to be that next step, yes, it would have to be at a lower price point, but in order to hit the $31 mark, I give that 40 years from now, and in 40 years from now, maybe Capcom will come out with Street Fighter 6.
Well, I don't think
that's enough out of you, Antonio. I just muted you. I can take crap about liking wrestling, but I will not take crap from you, Antonio, or you Street Fighter.
There you go.
Oh, that was perfect timing.
Yeah, I was just waiting for it.
What about you, Tyler? You've been kind of quiet. Did you have anything to add on to this?
Not much, really. No.
Okay. All right.
Well, here's what I think, right? I mean, saying that all over the place, but I think it will only work for, as you guys already said, it's just gonna be worth it for certain genres, and then we might even have new genres. As movies might have new genres, we might have new genres for that, and I think only with that, I think it's a good thing for gaming overall, just to make stuff forward. But it's never. I don't think it's ever gonna be standard. Not even after the price goes down. It's just. I just think it. But that said, it could be that once we die, it eventually will become a standard, because I'm seeing like all the new generations of players playing on the fucking iPhones, like as good as playing with a fucking controller. It could be just that us gamers that grew up with controllers are just, old, and we just like it because that makes sense to us, because that we grew up with that. They could be that as well. I don't know.
Maybe we're old, closed-minded people who are holding back gaming.
It could be. It could be.
No,
could be.
I honestly think what's going to be the standard is that thing that they did for Microsoft and Minecraft on that table.
The HoloLens?
I think that is going to be the new generation of gaming.
I totally disagree.
I think, again, that'd be cool for like RTSs and shit, but we'll have to have a HoloLens episode or something, or talk briefly about that sometime.
Unless they make the HoloLens into PT, then no, I don't see that thing being successful.
They'll make nothing into PT.
RTSs without a keyboard are not good.
Where are they?
There are RTSs without keyboards, and they suck.
I don't know. Halo Wars was pretty good.
Oh.
Halo Wars and Lord of the Rings Conquest 2, I think it was.
But, I mean, is it better than any RTSs with keyboards? Honestly, no.
Better, no. But
you can use your hands, and you can move the table around and make your own levels and stuff, and move your forces.
I think that says real nice what RTS is now.
I think for games like Rome Total War or games along those lines, I think it would be phenomenally fun to play with a HoloLens. But then again, that's also something where it's going to be a part of the gaming market, and it's not going to be something that's going to be incorporated into everything. Because ultimately, in order to utilize this technology, a game is going to have to be built around it or with it in mind. And no developer is going to literally limit themselves so much because of how limited that market is.
Yeah, remember games that had voice commands? They keep trying that.
It's Xbox off. Yeah, so
I remember someone trying to show off his, I got an Xbox One, watch this. Xbox on. Xbox on.
The best video I saw was something with that was a guy in Call of Duty changed his name to Xbox off. Then he would play and shoot his teammates and blow up his teammates and shit. So they'd be yelling at him and be like, Xbox, why do you keep killing me? Xbox off. And the Xbox would turn off. And then when they realize when they say it, they go, no. And then they get kicked out. Amazing. Best video ever. I love the internet.
So,
that's pretty good.
I guess some voice commands for some people works. The guy who I hanged at that one time trying to show it off, it never worked.
That's great. But I think the theme of this would be that needs to coexist with gaming. It doesn't need to dominate gaming. It needs to be a part of it, just like there are different genres. I feel like the 3D glasses are a genre in themselves, and they might have subgenres, but it does not need to dominate gaming, at least in my opinion. It needs to be options. I don't always want to use that thing. It's going to be fatiguing. But I digress. Our time here is just about up, but I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll go down the line of all these awesome guests here and let you know where you can find them. words don't work well with me at all. They don't. But Antonio, where can they find you?
Well, first of all, I think we are just old farts that we don't embrace change. You fucking get off my lawn, bitch. You know? Well, you can find me at YouTube, Gokado Retro Reviews. Gokado is Gokado. Twitter at Gokadito, Gokadito. I can spell English, guys. Come on. And, of course, the Console Xplosion. You need to check that out. We are there as well.
Boom. Ian, where can they find you?
You can find me at www.historicnerd.com or on YouTube at Historic Nerd, or you can find me in the Console Xplosion. Or, if you want to talk to me directly, you can talk to me directly on Twitter, which is at historicalnerd on twitter.com. Yeah, hey, there you go.
Tyler?
Well, you can find me on YouTube, the Video Game Hunter 32, or Hot Anime 32. They'll both take you to the same channel. You can find me on Facebook, the Video Game Hunter, Twitter, VG32, and if you want, I also draw once in a while DeviantArt Video Game Hunter. And I might be drawing some, probably something for Antonio. You know, Undertale.
Ooh.
Like some Undertale.
Nice.
Debating at the moment.
Again, are you starting the new run?
Oh yes, I started last Friday, and I might do it again. Not this Friday, but next Friday.
Are you, Tavian, gonna pick it up as well?
Pick up Undertale?
Yeah.
After how much you sold it to me, yeah, I'd have to pick it up. It sounds really good. So I want to stream it if possible. I want to share those feels with other people. I don't want to do it alone. But
and again, do it the way you want to do it. Don't listen to anyone. Hey, you have to do it this way, whatnot, because you're gonna fuck it. No.
Oh yeah.
You're not fucking up anything. Honestly, you are just playing how you are playing.
I am saying that it is kind of hard to stream that game when you got people in the comments telling you what to do, what you need to do.
Yeah.
So I'll ignore them. Don't worry.
Yeah, because if you stream that game, you're gonna get viewers. Believe me, you're gonna get viewers if you stream that game.
So why aren't you streaming it for us then?
Oh, you want me to?
He doesn't want viewers. But where can they find you, Jared?
Well, of course you can find me at the Console Xplosion. Check out our Facebook. Check out our YouTube. We got lots of new videos coming up. With the Calgary Entertainment and Comic Expo this weekend. Hopefully the Ottawa Comic-Con this weekend as well. So we're doing double duty with expos this weekend. We also have every week the podcast on Wednesdays. Every week we also have the weekly wrap-up at some point. Everyone stares at Ian. But nonetheless, you can also check out our streaming, which is actually really taking off. Every Monday, you can catch the Video Game Hunter. Every Tuesday, the Moviegoer 14 does his Cartoon Tuesdays, where he actually does voiceovers of the characters, as well as argues with his family and gets yelled at. So, a great time to watch. Wednesdays is the Bearded Gamer. Thursdays is Turning to Black Ace, one of the co-founders of the Console Xplosion. Fridays is... I forget. Actually, Moviegoer again, I think, is taking Fridays. He will be doing 80s Night on Fridays. Oh. Saturdays is Black Ace, which will actually be doing all-day video game streams from 7 a.m. to 3 a.m. All day Console Xplosion streams Saturdays. So check them out, follow them, see their stuff. Again, I'm very excited for our Twitch, very excited for our podcast, and very excited for everything overall, especially the weekly wrap-ups.
Look, Okay. Well, and of course, guys, I'm the Philosopher. Thank you guys so much for joining. You can find me on Facebook.com/thephilosopher, or slash philosopher, and then Twitter @thephilosopher, and of course, always on the Console Explosion. If you guys had any opinions on any of this, let us know. What do you think about the future of 3D? We've talked about it a couple times now. And also let us know what you think about Nintendo and how they're going to do with their new console. Don't forget to like, share with other people who are hardcore nerds, and also don't forget to subscribe and let us know that you like our show and want to see more of our content. As always, I will see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.